There we go. Well, welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans for Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. My name is Bill Soroka, founder of notarycoach.com and author of Sign and Thrive, How to Make Six Figures as a Mobile Notary and Loan Signing Agent, and our latest book written with Laura Viewer, Beyond Loan Signings, How to Monetize Your Notary Commission Through Specialty Notary Work. Speaking of Laura, she's not here today. She is at the NAS conference, the National Association of Secretaries of State in Washington, D.C., and it's also her birthday. So if you're connected to Laura on social media or text message, I know she loves getting those birthday messages. We're excited for her. She's making all kinds of amazing connections and presenting at the conference this week in DC. So that's quite an honor. Instead, what we're going to do today is I'm going to introduce you to our very special co-host and NBB faculty member, Mr. Jim Allen. You probably know him as the Marketing Notary. Hey, Jim.
Hey. Thank you, Bill.
You bet. You want to tell everybody a little bit about you?
Well, I'm like a lot of you. I'm a notary, apostille agent, just like most of you. One of the things that I kind of specialize in is digital marketing. And so I've been able to teach people how to optimize their Google business profile so they can get more online traffic and more online leads from that. And I'm from the state of Idaho, down in, if you've heard of Boise, that's with a no Z, it's with a C, Boise, Idaho. And been here, raised my family for pretty much my whole life. So.
Awesome. Well, Jim, I'm so excited for the conversation today because this is regular Tuesday Notary Titans style. It's live Q&A where you can ask any type of question about your business, but we have a true marketing specialist and expert on the line with us. So if you have questions about online visibility, digital marketing, all of those things that can sometimes be intimidating if you're not used to working in them, this is the time to ask your questions. No questions barred, right, Jim?
None. No, just ask away.
All right. So the way TNT works, if you use the raise hand feature in Zoom, that lets us know that you have a question. When I call on you, just tell us what state you're in and jump right into the question. And then you can mute yourself out. And then Jim or I will take the question and we might ask a little more information, or we'll just jump in with some suggestions or advice on you. So let's start the first one with the courage to ask. Mike. Hey, Mike in California. Go ahead and unmute and come on up. How can we help?
Hi, hope everybody had a good 4th. Yeah, question for you, and maybe Jim's even the right guest to ask us that. If I get a VPN, what do I need to worry about in terms of receiving docs, sending docs, things that are encrypted? Are they going to get kicked out? What do I need to either worry about or not worry about?
Well, your VPN is going to act as like a tunnel, right? For not like normally we go over the internet with all of our information, and a VPN is just going to allow a tunnel to go through the internet that's encrypted. So it shouldn't play any role in not allowing files to come through unless there's a restriction on whoever's sending it to you that would do that. So I don't think that's a bad idea, actually.
So if, let's say, use the company Fidelity. So Fidelity is sending only encrypted files out. And so they know my ISP. Now with a VPN, that ISP is hidden. What does that do? Does that,
I don't think that and I've used the VPN too for exactly what you're saying. I've never had a problem with receiving files that way. So it shouldn't affect your inbound stuff from your vendors. It'll just protect you from being spied on, or that's right. The use of a VPN is to keep things private and encrypted.
So I have a LANs in my house. So do I need to worry about, I read something where it said you have to change settings if, let's say you wanted to print a file that the in other words, my lens is recognized internally in my, to my computers and my printers,
Yeah.
Bluetooth wise. So if I sign up for a VPN, do I need to worry about changing anything in order to print?
I don't think so. That's an IT question, and I would probably want to, if you know someone that has a little more of an IT background, that might be something you want to ask them. But I
I
don't
thought
think
you were
that
the
would-
guy.
Well, digital marketing. Hey, I do have an IT background, but I don't know that really that I could answer that question honestly. Is that I don't know if it's going to affect your local network or not. It probably will not. That's my guess.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you bet.
thanks for jumping in there, Jen, because that is way outside my pay grade. But I know we have some brilliant people on this call. So if you do have some answers or any pitfalls to look out for when using a VPN, I'd love for you to type those into the chat. So Mike and everybody else who might be considering this can see what your experience has been with those. So thank you for that. Speaking of chat, guys, this is a perfect opportunity right now. We're on the line with over 100 notaries from around the country. If you want to expand your peer network, doing so right here in the chat by contributing to the conversation, introducing yourself, where you're from, and telling us those nice, warm, and cool temperatures. That's how we stay connected. So definitely utilize this opportunity to connect with each other as well. Stephen, thanks for being here. What's going on today? Tell everybody what state you're in and how we can help.
All right, I'm from Michigan. I'm 3 hours north of Detroit along the beautiful Lake Huron shoreline.
All right.
And
Nice.
so what I've discovered, the reason I got into this is the perfect retirement job, because I could just ease into it. I could take my time with people, so they feel good. I don't need to have to cram all this in. But anyway, at some point in the near future, I plan on moving. And the reason I got into this, I'm starting to learn the skills because for the most part, this is portable. My website I'm working on will be portable.
Exactly.
Obviously, the local connections will have to be rebuilt. But because I live in such a rural area, there's only so deep I can go into real estate because there's only 3 title companies within 20 minutes of me, so on and so on. So as far as going wide to expand my skills, what would you recommend I focus on?
Great question. I love that you're even thinking about this. So a few suggestions because there's tons of opportunity for you, right? And I'm going to bounce this over to Jim again for some perspective as well here. But there is my favorite and the easiest transition for those who are used to working with real estate transactions and loan signings is trust delivery. And that's doing these living trust presentations, working with estate planning attorneys to help increase their impact and help more of their own customers. And at some point, you're going to run into the same problem, right? If you're in a small town, there's only going to be so many attorneys that you can work with. What I like about trust delivery, though, is that in addition to local estate planning attorneys, there's nationwide companies that help provide that service too. So that gives you a little bit of an expanded market. And on top of that, there is the apostille agent. And even in the more rural areas, I'm learning that you can have some much more interesting appointments in field inspections as well, especially with farm equipment, leased equipment, and things of that nature. So that's some suggestions that I would have there. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, that's great. Depends on how densely populated of an area you're going to go to. What's the population going to be like there?
Well, okay, where I'm at, the metro area is like 2,200 people.
Oh, okay.
But like 15 miles south, there is a metro area of 7,000. So there is some population. But, like you say, it's like, I need to go wide. I understand. And it'll never hurt me to know more rather than less. But, I'm just trying to get some feedback as to which areas would be more fruitful than others.
I'm like with Bill over here. I think he gave you some really great suggestions about, this trust document delivery. What a great opportunity. Of course, there's always signings are still going to be available. People are still refinancing their house. They're still buying and selling. So there's still going to be that opportunity. There's going to be opportunity for notary work, especially in rural areas where there is no UPS office. So, there's just not a lot of opportunity for people to get, documents notarized. So you have a great opportunity, I think, for mobile notary services. So, turning on that Google business profile would be probably not a bad idea for you.
I've been trying for weeks to get that thing up and running, but it's like I keep reaching out to him and says, what do you need for me to do? I've given him a copy of my DBA, given a copy of my state certificate, the letter of approval for my Secretary of State. It's like, I don't know what more you want from me.
Sometimes you just got to be patient and wait, because it does take some time for them to get back to you. So that's not uncommon.
Yeah, for some reason, the mobile notary business triggers some internal red flags sometimes for Google, but it is worth staying persistent on. So it just requires that patience, though. But let's talk about that a little bit too, Jim, right? Because if we get really just real about where your customers are going to come from when you're a mobile notary, it's two places only. If you just boil it down, it's going to be their relationships, the referral network, and your connections, and it's going to be your online visibility.
That's right.
That's it. It's from two different places. So what's nice about boiling it down like that is you can get laser focus about where you should be focusing your efforts every single day. If you know your customers come from two places, relationships and online visibility, then look at online visibility.
Here's the other quantity.
So with online visibility, there's what we mean by that is basically everything that you've got online, right? This is going to be your online profiles. It's going to be your website, your Google business profile. In fact, I break it down into 5 main areas, and Google business profile is your biggest. It's the least expensive. It's what Jim calls the low-hanging fruit for starting getting customers. Then your LinkedIn profile and your other notary directory profiles all tie into this as well. It all helps and impacts your online visibility. Plus, you've got social media accounts, and of course, you've got to include a website in there too, because that, while it's important, it's not absolutely you don't have to have a website first in order to start your Google business profile. That's why I rank Google business profile ahead of that, because you can get started so quick and easy.
That's the first thing you should do as a notary, right?
Yes.
Google business profile, number 1.
Absolutely. And so, Jim, I want to talk about, we're going to get to your questions, guys. So thank you for your patience, but I want to trigger even more questions, because what you have here is an opportunity to speak directly to Jim and ask some good questions. So a lot of people, Jim, and remember we did a survey about this. We found out what the biggest resistance was to having a Google business profile. And here's what we learned. We learned that there was 4 main misconceptions. The first is that Google business profile is too expensive and you can't afford it. So Jim, can you address that for people?
Everyone, it's free. That's all I have to say. It's free. There is no cost to it now. The cost would come in if you decided to run ads, right? Okay, there's a cost to that. But to set up your Google business profile, it's free. And just your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second misconception is that the technology is too hard to learn. Jim, what do you have to say about that?
This is something I get a lot of feedback on, is that, oh, this is too technical. I hate technical stuff. It's not technical. It's fill in the blank. So if you can fill in the blank, you can write a little bit of content, then you're good. There's no technical aspect to it at all.
You know what's interesting about this is Google wants you to be on with your business profile. Their job is to match their search customers with the services they need and whatever they're hunting for. So they want you to succeed. They literally walk you through step by step to at least set up a basic profile. Now, there's a lot to Google business profile, of course, and that's how you can optimize it and grow it. But for just getting started, there's no reason not to. They'll walk you right through it.
Yep.
The third major misconception, a lot of people have concerns about this, Jim, is they think you have to list your home address on your profile. Is that true?
That can be true, but no, there's a service option for listing your address. So if you're in your Google Business Profile, you can go under edit and then find your address. And when you click on that to edit the address, there's a little slider bar that says this, and it says basically, do you want to display your address or hide it? It's essentially what it's doing. So you can certainly hide your address so you don't attract people coming to your door.
Right. And finally, misconception number 4, we kind of touched on already, but I hear this so often, Jim. People say, well, I'm not doing my Google Business Profile yet because I want to build my website first. Yeah. What do you have to say about that?
Your Google Business Profile is the #1 thing you work on. If you're like, I don't have the budget, I think I need to wait. No, do not wait. Get your Google Business Profile going now. Start feeding it information, start feeding it reviews. And then your website is going to augment your profile. It's going to help your profile get even more visibility in search. So really the Google Business Profile should be your first step.
Yeah, I agree. And the reason I say that is, and it's not to detract from the power and the importance of the website. It is important, but the website for most of us is the hardest part, right? Most of us are not software engineers. We can't just go out and write code and design a brand new website. Like that's going to take us either developing the skills, putting in the time, or hiring somebody else to do it. And it's going to take time. All that time that you're putting into building a website, you're losing out on if you don't have your Google Business Profile, because you can be generating calls and customers while you're building your website, even without it in the very beginning. So that's why we rank it first and foremost on the importance.
I add something on top of that, Bill.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so your Google Business Profile is designed to be seen in traffic. Your website may or may not be designed to be seen in traffic. It depends on how that part of it's developed out. But Google certainly wants to find and have businesses that have high relevance, prominence, and are in the local area to be shown when someone types in notary near me. That's the goal, and that's what Google is trying to do. So again, they're built to be seen. You just need to optimize and understand how it works.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into some of these questions. Hopefully we sparked some really good ones for you. I see Phil Shannon on today. Hey, Phil.
Hey guys, great to see you all. I got a chance to talk to Lori yesterday, wish her happy birthday, and as she was walking the streets of Washington, D.C. It was pretty cool, but we miss her here, but it's great to have Jim. And I just want to say from a non-notary perspective, just from a business owner, I love the marketing conversation, as you know, Bill. This is what I live for. And I've had the good fortune of being on Jim's Google My Business training a couple different times when I did little presentations. And guys, the information you're going to get is I mean, you can't put a dollar value on building your business. And this is an amazing way to do it. And so fortunate you were able to get him on here to talk more about this. So loving the marketing conversation. I've got a hard stop at 12:30 because I do have employee benefit enrollment that I'm fitting in between my 105 or my 5 minutes after TNT thing. You notice how your priority, the enrollment can take care of themselves.
Love it.
For those who aren't aware, 5 minutes after Tuesday Notary Titans, please join me. I'll be doing a little presentation on how to protect and grow your business, a way to generate some additional income if that's what you're looking for. I see a lot of familiar faces on here, a lot of people I've loved working with for quite some time. Always great to be part of TNT. So thanks so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Phil. Appreciate you. And I did post that link. It's notarycoach.com/TNT. Scroll to the very bottom of that. You can click right into the Zoom link and join Phil at 1:05 p.m. Pacific time. Gail Thames McNay, thanks for being here. What state are you in? And
can you hear me okay?
What state are you in and how can we help?
The Napa Valley, California. It's
all right.
Beautiful today.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you, Bill and Jim. Just recently, I've had 2 people interested in this business from Florida and from the Bay Area in California. And I'm just promoting the heck out of you because you have just given me marketing ideas coming out my ears, and they've been really encouraged by it and then I passed you along for today. So
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So my question's about the Google business profile, which I did do. That was a big goal for me the first of this year. And I accomplished that. And I'm super happy with it. I love how it looks and everything. I'm getting emails monthly showing that I'm getting lots of hits, lots of looks, no contacts, no calls. I don't know why.
Great question. All right,
Yeah.
Jim, what advice do you have for Gail?
Okay, so there's 2 things in the digital marketing world that we're trying to accomplish. One is engagement. Kind of jumped ahead of myself. Engagement. So engagement means when someone finds a website or something on the web and they get interested and then they click on it and they go in to look around, that's engagement. So what we're trying to do on your Google business profile is get people engaged, make yourself look different than, and give relevant information to the people that are searching for your product and service, right? So if we have an engaging site, then we have a more chance of doing the number 2 step, which is called conversion. That conversion is like, oh, I'm so engaged that I want to call to click or click to call. And so that's the process. So to answer your question, you may not be engaging enough. There may not be enough reason on that site to really engage people. The other problem might be you maybe not just have enough engagement to finally get to that point where you get enough people looking at you, you're going to get a call, right? So couple issues there. So I don't know which one. I haven't seen your profile, so I don't know, but that could be what's going on with you. Could be also there's a lot of competition in your area. So you kind of got to look at that. What are other people doing? What could you be doing better? Are you getting enough reviews? Are you getting enough flow of reviews? Are you uploading photos that are relevant to your business? So these kinds of things could be what's impeding that.
Right. I have my required 5 reviews and that's pretty fun to ask people when you worked with them if they would consider, if you sent them a link, that they would review you. And I always get, yeah, absolutely. So I love marketing too. That's one of my favorite things. And also the photos, you can't put them in order that you would like. That is really frustrating. Because I've loaded up my picture. I have a beautiful mobile printing station in my car, and I have a cute one with a kitty on my lap during a signing, and a great one with doggies with me at a signing. And I think it's adorable, but it's out of order. It's frustrating.
Yeah, not much you can do about that.
Yeah.
There's one thing that you can do though. Your cover photo. If you click on photos in the profile and you go to cover photo, if you size it correctly, then that photo will stick to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then apparently I got a phone call through the Google Business Web profile, but we had spoken earlier on a TNT about getting it to come through your phone and all these details on how to accomplish that. And I wrote extensive notes, but I went to my my profile and I couldn't navigate to discover how to get phone calls coming to my phone and those kinds of things. So, yeah.
Well, basically, you just got to make sure the correct phone number is listed in your profile, which I'm sure it is, right? So then that should initiate a call to from your client or the search traffic to you.
Yeah.
So you may not just have enough volume yet in your profile to get enough calls. So.
All right. Okay.
One last comment. You said you have 5 reviews.
I do.
Okay. I want you to press the gas.
Yes.
I want you to get more. 5 is not enough. It gets you on the board, but you need to have like 2 to 3 reviews hitting your platform every month.
Nice. Okay. I can do that.
Okay. Press the gas.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for being here. Now I'm going to I want to expand on that a little bit too, because one of the the cool pieces of advice that Jim offers when you take one of his optimization courses is to look at your competition. Because you want to look at what other notaries have that make them more appealing to a consumer or a prospect, right?
Mhm.
Because people are going to work with who they know, like, and trust. So if all you've done is the bare minimum to set up a Google business profile, I mean, we're here to cheer you on. Yay, you did it. And now it's time to go to the next level. Like Jim said, put on the gas a little bit. People want to know who they're hiring. They want to know that you care about them. They want to know a little bit about your personality. Those are the factors that make a person decide, am I going to hire this person or this person? They've got 200 notaries to choose from. What's going to help you stand out? And having more post, more engagement, more activity, and sharing a little bit more about you and why you're in this business and what you can do to help solve problems is going to be the key differentiator there.
Yep.
And I want to talk about reviews a little bit too. And I know I'm sure we get some great questions on reviews, but reviews are extremely powerful. I think, Jim, and they never tell us what the exact number is, but we think it's between 10 and 12% is the impact that reviews have on how you end up ranking in searches.
Oh, I think it's stronger than that, Bill.
Is it stronger than
It's
that?
stronger than that.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
even surprise me if that's the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
But it's a huge, significant chunk. So having 5 reviews, 10 reviews, 100 reviews, there's no limit to this a number of reviews. And if you are just starting and you don't have customers yet to ask for reviews, you can still get character reviews.
For sure.
You can still have people in your town who have worked with you in the past that know about your trust levels, your integrity levels, your professionalism. Those types of reviews can still be added to your Google business profile.
That is true.
So
Yeah,
there's
reviews are hugely powerful on a well-optimized platform. They are the capstone of your profile. So yeah, 100% what you said, Bill.
Love it. All right, Cynthia Jordan, great to see you in Texas. How can we help today?
Hello, Bill. Hello, Jim.
Hello.
I was going to say that I have taken your course, and I have I was going to say I added I-9 verification on my profile Thursday.
Yes.
And on Friday somebody called me for one. So I was
That's
excited
what I'm
about
talking about. See? All right. Thank you, Cynthia.
I
You're
love
getting me
instant
riled
results.
up now.
But I do have so when I get in there, you go to either search or maps, it lists my business twice. Like it has one,
What?
it lists.
Okay, so that's not good, Cynthia. This is
No.
let me interrupt you and just talk about this for a minute.
Okay.
All right. So I run into this once in a while. People have duplicate listings. And it's probably because that maybe they just didn't know what they were doing at the time. Oh, this didn't go through, so I'm going to create another one. And lo and behold, they both get verified. They're both showing. Now, what's happening to you is that you're your own competition. So you're really working against yourself. So we want to make sure that if you have duplicate listings, that you delete the ones that you don't need. Just yesterday, I deleted out someone. They created 3 listings. They had one of them that had 25 reviews, and the other 2 were like nothing, but they were competing against each other. Get rid of them.
So I have one has 2 reviews, one has 3. What do I do to go in there?
Well, in that case, you would hop on support, and this is complicated. I'm just going to say the 30,000 foot view. I'm not going to get into the details, but you would contact your Google services or support, and you're going to say, hey, I have a duplicate listing. I want to merge these 2 together.
Okay.
And so then they merge those 2 together, and you should have 5 reviews at the end, fingers crossed. Not all the time, but fingers crossed.
Okay.
Second option is just go, okay, I'm going to cut my losses. I'm just going to delete one.
Okay.
Okay.
And I need a refresher course, and then I'll be done.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah.
Bill.
You have my email, so email me. Okay.
Okay, I will.
All
Thank
right,
you.
You bet.
All right, wonderful. Real quick, I just want to speaking. We got a chance to talk about trust delivery a little bit with Stephen, but if you have not heard yet, Jen Neitzel, Laura Buer, and myself, we are delivering the special training on Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific time called The Next Big Boom Living Trust Presentations. If you are interested or intimidated by what that means, working under the estate planning industry, or I almost said umbrella again, we're going to break that out for you and talk specifically about why this is such a lucrative opportunity right now, and specific ways you can position yourself as more of a partner to estate planning professionals and really take your business to the next level. That training is 100% free, and you can register for it at notarycoach.com/boom. It will be recorded. A replay will be available, and you don't want to miss the live. If you can make it live at 2 p.m. Pacific, definitely be there.
Wow.
All right. So let's take a look at EVS Notary and HR Consulting. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Roz Smith. I am in St. Louis, Missouri.
All right. Hey,
And
Roz.
I have taken Jim's course. Thank you. It has helped a lot. I also had some website issues, but I got both working in the right
Nice.
order.
Nice.
But the
Success.
issue I have, thank you,
You bet.
is I think it was Cynthia, the last person that just talked about duplicate, has somewhat of a common issue as well. I have my a personal Google account, then I set up a work email, Gmail account, and then I got an official business account. But the two, personal and the work Gmail, seem to be connected to the same Google business profile. And I'm so scared to delete one or delete one out. I don't even know how to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's another kind of a deep question to get into. But basically what you do is you go in and you give that email like the ownership, right? You're going to give it ownership. And then there's other, you can give manager access to these other emails. And now you have one that has manager access or ownership access, and that's the one you want. You can delete out the other two. You can take the management off of them, but it's not going to hurt anything. There's nothing there that's going to hurt that process for you, other than maybe, oh, it's just annoying because it's not like spot on. But maybe a benefit was having access to your profile from different emails.
Okay, yeah, because it doesn't seem to be like a different one. It's the same account, because I get the same duplicate email saying what my performance is. It's the same numbers.
Yeah,
So,
you probably got one as the owner and the other one as managers.
so can you tell me where I can find that offhand? Like, where would I go to even find the owner manager?
Oh boy. All right.
I know.
Let me see. Actually, that's going to be something a little deeper than what I think we can get in here. Email me and I'll send you
Sure.
a little video and I'll explain it to you. How's that?
Okay, thank you so much. And I
You have my
appreciate
email
your
address?
I think so.
If not, just go Jim@Idaho LSA, loansigningagent.com.
Okay, thank you.
Email me your
Thank
name and where we're talking from, and I'll get back to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Roz. Thanks for being here. Larry in California. Great to see you on. What can we do for you today?
Hey, Larry.
Bill, how you doing?
Good.
My question is it's going to come off like a new question, but let me explain that I have only ever done loan signing work.
Yeah.
90% of my notary work that I've done independently has been loan signing. So now as I'm sort of transitioning to involve general notary work as well, there's some there was an offer that was texted to me to do a job that was clearly general notary work. It was like 2 documents, $50, somewhere local. And I didn't get to it in time, so I didn't do it. But as I'm reading the details, it says something like no label. And I took that to mean that as a notary, I would be responsible for mailing the documents in, which kind of doesn't make sense to me. But because you figure using FedEx or UPS is going to be over $10, if you send the mail, USPS, it's still going to be somewhere along the same line. So
So
I'm wondering if I was misinterpreting that. And also,
well, let's
I have an answer about the VPN question. That
well, hold on 1 second, Larry. Let's pause for 1 second. Let's address that first. So when these offers come from signing companies, they can pretty much say whatever they want. So we don't want to I just don't want to assume that I know what they're meaning. But when I've seen no label, it usually means no shipping. So there's usually no shipping required. So you might be showing up, notarizing documents, and they might just be staying right there, or the signer already has instructions. It might be at an attorney's office. It could be those types of things, but no label usually means no shipping.
Oh, okay. Wow. Mind blown. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
My comment about the VPN is that a VPN is it's just like a program you log into. Like if you want to go out onto the internet anonymously, you'd log into your VPN program. So once you download whatever it is you're trying to download, you simply log out of your VPN program, and then you just use your regular network. It's rather along the same lines as a router.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Sounds like you're used to that.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Larry. Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right. Mercedes, welcome. What state are you in and how can we help?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry. It's Jack here. Thanks for answering my call. I know my video is not showing. Okay. I don't know if you remember me. I got on every Tuesday call for like a year in I think maybe 2021.
All right.
I was in California then, and I'm back, and I'm so sorry to hear about Carol. It was Carol and Barbara and you. I
Yeah.
can't believe that. Well, I'm in Ohio now. Was really booming in California 2 years ago. Moved out here a year ago. It was like cut my workload in half. It was really slow. Still very slow, but now I find myself without a car, which is it was totally unexpected. Wasn't prepared for type of thing.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking into e-notarization, the RON. Just wondering, I guess, if I don't see a fourthly a car in the very near future, if RON is pretty sustainable. And also, you guys answered a lot of my questions, like as far as marketing. I've been working on my website, haven't even done Google business. I didn't know it was as powerful as you guys were saying. So I'll definitely be setting that up. So I guess, can you hear me okay?
Yep. We can hear you just fine.
Is RON something that would be pretty sustainable, kind of like a mobile notary, like I was doing?
All right. Great question. So a couple of things here. And sorry to hear about your car, but I think given the circumstances, that's probably remote online notarization probably makes a lot of sense for you right now. Now, whether or not that's sustainable, I think is subject to opinion and results, of course. I would love to hear in the chat, at least, if there's any remote online notary that finds what they would consider. Oh, here she is. In the chat, if you would consider your remote online notarization volume sustainable. There are a few notaries that have really done really well with Ron. They've got a nice flow. They've got some good clients. It's pretty steady, usually not in real estate closings, but there are some exceptions to that. It's usually in general notary work, specialty notary work. And I'd love to see in the chat if you consider that sustainable enough that you do not pursue other lines of work or business. All right, Gloria says she has a friend who's killing it in there. So great. Mercedes, I hope that gives you a little bit of perspective. And please, if you're a Ron and you have some perspective to share on this, type it into the chat for me there too. Now, the other thing that I'd offer, just because it seems serendipitous that you are in Ohio, and our friend Amy Seitz is based in Ohio, and she owns and operates the Cyberize It platform. And they really go above and beyond to help market and support the notaries that are on that platform. You might want to check that one out. And I'll type the link in here for you. So, oops, that's not the right one. It's this one.
Thank you.
There you go. So you can check that out. But here, what is going on? Oh, there it goes. Okay, there it goes. Notary.cyberizeit.com.
Okay.
The thing with remote online notarization, though, in most cases, when you're still an independent notary, you're a solopreneur, so you still got to generate business, right? And that business is going to come from the same two places that it does when you are a mobile notary doing live work, and that's from your relationships and referrals and your online visibility. So that takes me to the second thing that you mentioned, is the importance of your Google business profile. That's still going to be extremely important. All of your web presence, updating all of your profiles to the remote online status, and then talking about it, really becoming a subject matter expert. Because no matter how many notaries or how much we've heard about remote online notarization just over the last 3 years, the public still isn't at a saturation point. They still don't either know it exists or trust it. So if you're going to take that on, if the most successful notaries I see doing it are talking about it all the time, they become a subject matter expert on remote online notarization and help their customers start to trust the process. Jim, would you have anything that you would add to that?
Yeah, I agree with that. What you all said there, the experience that I've had, because I am a remote online notary, I don't rely on as far as my main source of income flow, but it is something I use to help out customers who need it, right? So one area that I've noticed that I've increased for me personally are sales packages from Title. And the sale packages those are the ones you could go after. So if you have some relationships with escrow officers and you're good as being a remote online notary, I would definitely press the gas on that and let them know you have the ability to do remote for their clients that are out of state or not able to get into the office.
Excellent. Mercedes, does that give you some perspective?
Yeah, thank you. I've also compiled a list of every loan officer and every escrow officer, or probably not escrow, but the title company, their names and numbers and emails. From, I think I got that sheet from you on the closing disclosure. I reviewed hundreds of them. I have an Excel list, and I wanted to start reaching out to them. Just don't know are a lot of people, because I actually set up an office. Are a lot of title companies willing to send? Because I know they love mobile notaries. The customers don't have to leave their house. Plus, you get the signing done right then and there, and there's like no lag, because it's harder to get people to come to you. What about your guys' experience with having those documents come, or people come to your house, having them sent to your it's probably all about the relationship.
Well, okay. So Mercedes, to make sure I understand the question, you're saying rather than you go to the signer's house, since you don't have a vehicle right now, why not have the signers come to your office, right?
Right.
So for on the escrow side, all things are possible, right? Can this be negotiated? Probably, but it also eliminates the value that you bring to the table for most in the minds of most escrow officers. And they're like, well, if they're going to go to you anyway, then we might as well just bring them to our office, right? There might be some geographical benefit to some if the title office was too far. So you'd have to be really careful with that. Where I see that being a possibility, though, is working in with living trusts with estate planning attorneys that have virtual offices. You know, those, they don't have an office. They may not have a convenience office or convenient office for their customers. So they might see huge value in the fact that you have an office that they can send their customers to for trust delivery appointments. So that's one thing to think about. But let's go back to your challenge right now. So there were times in my career where I didn't have a vehicle either, right? And then I had to do a cost analysis. How much is the Uber going to cost me if I had to take an Uber? And sometimes I had to take it in the shorts on a few of those, but it still worked out. I kept my customers satisfied and I kept my wheels turning, which kept my bills paid. The other thing, that I did, and again, not knowing the specifics of the situation, but we're all going to be in this situation at some point, I relied heavily on Turo car rentals. It's like Airbnb, but for cars. You probably heard of it by now. I've been talking about it. I got into that business for a little bit, but you can rent daily runner vehicles really inexpensively. And if you have 4 or 5 appointments in a day, it's just a cost of doing business is to throw your rental car on top of it. So there might be some other outside the box opportunities or options around the challenge. Any of that helpful at all, Mercedes?
Yeah, it was. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here.
When is your because I've done one estate planning. It was like a whole folder portfolio. Sat down with the family once. I actually rather enjoyed it because the attorney had set up, everywhere they needed to sign.
Yeah.
Is that part of the wills and trusts estate planning, or is that another attorney office I can start messaging or trying to build a connection with?
Yeah. So it's all under the estate planning umbrella, right? And then delivering trusts is a specific niche part of that I love. I never thought I would find anything more enjoyable than signing a first-time home buyer, right? Like that was my passion. I love doing that. I still do, but I have found equal or more joy in delivering trusts because of the peace of mind it brings to people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It kind of made me want to spread the word of, hey, everyone needs to do a living trust or estate planning.
Exactly. And that's the training that we're doing on Thursday. So Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern.
Thank you. Okay.
We'll have that training.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. And good luck and stay in touch and welcome back.
Well, thanks.
All right, you got it. Lisa Duffy in California, great to see you. How can we help today?
Hi, Bill. Great to see you too. You actually look like a judge sitting there.
Where's my gavel? Oh yeah, it does. It looks like I'm wearing a robe, huh?
I have 2 questions for Jim. My first question is, I have my Google business page, and I actually have, I think 3 or 2 maybe, because I have 3 different DBAs. So how does that play into everything?
Are they all the same business?
There are certain aspects of the business. So I have an LLC, which like no one would know anything I did based on the name of that. And so I have First Class Signature Service, which is my notary and loan signing. And then First Class Mobile Fingerprinting is obvious. And then I have First Class Apostilles.
That's a tricky one. I like the idea that you're going for segments, right? And you're trying to have businesses for specific segments. Not a
Yes.
bad idea. Do you get enough volume through each one of those?
Sort of. And that was my second question. I'm getting, like, I rank number one when people search for those near me.
Yeah.
In my city or town. I'm just 20 minutes from Sacramento. So I always come up first between the first three.
Yeah.
Usually I'm first when people search for a live scan near me or apostilles near me or something. I come up and they call.
Well, here's my thought is that I know that there's a business category in Google for notary public. I know there's one for fingerprinting services. So for me, that makes a kind of makes sense to have two different Google business profiles because they're very different, businesses. Where the apostille, there is no business category for apostille work in your Google business profile. All we have is notary public. So I think if it was me, I may have just two. Is like I have a notary business, and that notary business takes care of apostille because there's a lot of interconnectivity with that business with apostille, right? And so, but the fingerprinting so far away from the other two, it would make
Right.
sense.
I
So
did list the apostille under, I think there was a choice for legalization or embassy or something like that.
Oh, is there? That's
Yeah.
news to me.
And
I'm gonna look
I
at that as
use
soon as we're
that.
done. Yeah, so that could work. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's just
Okay.
it's
So
all
they're
comes
not
down to
fighting against
search.
each other. I'm not fighting myself like the other person.
Well, unless you were like on your notary profile and on your apostille profile, and you're both like have the same kind of content on
Oh,
each
okay.
one, then
No, they
yes, you're
don't.
butting up against each other. But if you're saying on the apostille, this is all I do is apostille work, and on notary side, this is all I do with notary, and you're not cross-contaminating those that content, then you're probably okay. I still think there's probably a little bit of competition against yourself on it, but
Yeah.
not as much as it could be. We'll say
So
that.
they all lead to the same website though, which is my website for everything.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So then my other question is, like I said, I come up first in my town. How do I expand out?
You grow organically, or you grow through paid search. So two choices. Growing organically takes time. So
Yes.
right, so that's optimization, knowing how to optimize your profile for that type of business. And then it's also incorporating your website and being able to link those two together, really.
So I've
Keep it
labeled all
simple.
my pictures on my website, to they all say live scan near me or notary near me. They say all of that. And I have clients in other cities that have left me reviews speaking about their other cities and even some other states. But it's still really slow, even though I
Yeah.
get calls for out of my area, it's still slow.
So here's what you have to do in your case. You need to come up with a digital marketing plan, and that might be hiring somebody that knows digital marketing on the whole gambit. Like, okay, digital marketer, here's my objective. I want to produce conversions on my website for X. And then he's going to say to you, okay, how do you want to go about that? You want to pay for it, or do you want to grow organically? And if you're going to, and really, you got to do all these functions, but there's not one SEO trick that does it for you that will make you rank everywhere. It's really becoming an authority in your area for the subject matter that you're trying to promote. And that just
Okay.
takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes a plan. So you know, like for me, I have a guy that I hire that helps me keep on task and on plan with my digital marketing, because there's a lot to it. There's a lot of moving pieces that when it comes down to digital marketing, when you want to go your route, right? If you want to go, if you're trying to grow this business exponentially, it takes a digital marketing plan, and it's not, you know, you just don't want to throw darts out without
Right.
having a target. So,
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I get plenty of business here in my city.
mhm,
And I get some calls for, you know, like 45 minutes, 2 hours away.
mhm.
But those ones are not as often as I think I need them or want them.
Well,
Um,
listen, there is something that's at play here. A lot of people maybe don't understand this, but if you think of your city like a heat map, right? And you're going to show up on that heat map at different points at different strengths because of how you've grown organically, the kind of optimizations you've done, so forth, right? So when you're brand new, you may only have a very small area where you really show up. So you say, notary near me, hey, I show up, but 2 blocks down the road, I don't show up. Why? Well, you're not relevant, and you don't have any prominence. And so
okay.
these are the things and the activities you got to do in order to become those things. And then as you have that a well-defined SEO plan, digital marketing plan, let's call it, you start to grow that out, right? You start to overtake other people because your content is good, it's relevant, and it speaks to the people who are searching for you.
Okay.
Okay. So I wish I had a really like little simple answer for you, but
One quick last question. Does blogs play a part in this?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now blogs, yeah, they do. Also, I'll leave it at that. I could go on and on about that.
Okay, perfect.
But
Thank you.
that's part of a digital marketing plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And Lisa, it's real, like I know Jim, like Jim said, this could be an entire training just on blogs, but it's more than blogs. It's well-researched, keyword specific, keywords and phrases that your ideal customer are probably going to be looking for that bring value to them, that are going to help. So there's some to it, but Chat GPT, Google, all of those can really be beneficial in helping with that. I want to throw one more thing in there before we get to Gloria for our last question, is the idea of the ideal customer. I know it makes sense to expand your network, but when you said some of these calls could be 2 hours away, I was crazy. I used to drive 4 or 5 hours. I didn't care. I wanted all the business, right? But there are still appointments happening in your radius that you haven't been hired for. And that
Yes.
might be because you haven't honed in your ideal customer yet. You might not be using the language that would draw more in. What if your dream customer that was willing to pay you the most was doing business in your neighborhood, but they just hadn't found you yet? Would you rather work with that customer, or do you still want to go 2 hours away? Right? I think there's more opportunity that you might be missing that you can tap into by just refining your current profile and the language you use to draw in those ideal customers right now. So take a look at that too.
I appreciate that. Those calls that are coming from far away are for group fingerprinting. So yes, I do want those.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are nice appointments. I love it.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right,
both.
Gloria. Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate it. Gloria, you're going to be our last question today. And you're on mute, so it's going to be a quiet one.
Okay, sorry about that.
No
Hi,
problem.
guys. Good to see you again. I didn't even know this meeting was here today at 3 o'clock. I've really got to get my stuff together. I'm all over the place. Anyway, I'm one of those that found out that I have two Google My Business profiles because I had 2 different emails. I used to operate from an email. I want to get rid of the one that is not my business email.
Yeah.
I looked at that. I don't want to put any energy into it. I want to get rid of it. I don't know how. So if Jim or somebody can just send me a link, like how do I just get rid of one of my accounts, I would be very happy.
Jim, any quick advice for Gloria?
Yeah, there is support on Google for that, and I'll find the link for you and I'll send it over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, both of you guys. I mean, I love seeing you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Jim, Gloria's an NBB, so she's easy to find, so we can get that to her a little later
Okay, no
too.
problem.
Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Jim, thank you so much for being here on Tuesday Notary Titans. I promised you 1 hour to the minute, so I owe you 1 minute of your time for the delay. Or bill me for that, would you?
Okay, you're on.
Thank you so much for being here, though. Any closing words that you'd have for
Well,
our
hey,
audience?
thank you for everyone that showed up today. I love talking about digital marketing. I love talking about Google Business Profile. If you've been around me too much, I just love talking about it. So don't get me started. And I want to thank Bill. What an amazing community of notaries we have. And without Bill, we'd not all be here today. So Bill, thank you for your efforts and your education that you give us, and making a difference in all of our lives. Thank you.
Totally my pleasure. Thank you, Jim. And we will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place for new Tuesday Notary Titans, 12 p.m. Pacific time every Tuesday. Thank you for growing yourself and your business. Have a great week. Bye-bye.